Hello, you are listening to Shravani. In this session, we shall be learning about some applications of linear equations in one variable. We shall be looking at some word problems and learn how to solve them. Let's look at the first question. If you subtract half from a number and multiply the result by half, you get 1 by 8. What is the number? Let me assume that the required number is x. Let's subtract half from this and multiply this by 1 by 2. That is, if you subtract half from this number and multiply the result by 1 by 2, you must get 1 by 8. Now let's simplify this LHS. X minus half is nothing but 2x minus 1 by 2. When you take LCM, it will be 2x minus 1 by 2 times 1 by 2 is equal to 1 by 8. 2x minus 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 is nothing but 2x minus 1 by 4. This is equal to 1 by 8. Now let's cross multiply. This must be 8 times 2x minus 1 is equal to 4 times 1, that is 4. 8 times 2x minus 1 is 8 times 2x is 16x minus this 8 times 1, that is 8, is equal to 4. So what we have now? We have a linear equation in one variable. So the given word problems is now expressed as a linear equation in one variable. Now it is easier to solve. So you have 16x minus 8 is equal to 4. Let's transpose this 8 to RHS. You get 16x is equal to 4 plus 8, which is 12. If 16x is equal to 12, what does this imply? X must be 12 divided by 16 when we transpose 16 to the right hand side. 12 by 16 is nothing but 3 by 4. So your required number is 3 by 4. Let's look at the next question. The perimeter of a rectangular swimming pool is 154 meters. Its length is 2 meters more than twice its breadth. What are the length and breadth of the pool? So what is perimeter of a rectangle formula? Perimeter is equal to 2 times length plus breadth. According to the question, the perimeter is equal to 154 meters. The condition in the question is the length is 2 meters more than twice its breadth. What is twice of breadth? Twice of breadth can be written as 2b. What is the condition given? The length is equal to 2 meters more than twice the breadth. So this 2b plus 2 meters. Alright. So L is equal to 2b plus 2 meters. Alright. Let's substitute this value of L in this equation, that is P is equal to 2 times L plus B is equal to 154 meters. When I substitute, what I mean, I am going to replace this L with this value 2b plus 2. So you have 2 times L plus B is equal to 154. We are going to replace this L with 2b plus 2. You get L times 2b plus 2 plus this B is equal to 154. Let's simplify this LHS. You have 2 times 2b plus B is 3b plus 2 is equal to 154. Let's expand this brackets. 2 times 3b is 6b plus 2 times 2 is 4. This is equal to 154. So now what we have? We have a linear equation in one variable. Let's solve this now. You have 6b plus 4 is equal to 154. Let's transpose this 4 towards the right hand side. So you get 6b is equal to 154 minus 4, which is 150. 6b is equal to 150. This implies your b must be 150 divided by 6, which is 25. That means your breadth is 25 meters. Then what should be length? Length is 2b plus 2. Okay. 2 times b, that is 2 times 25 is 50. 50 plus 2 is 52 meters. So the required dimensions, that is length of the pool is 52 meters and breadth of the pool is 25 meters. Let's look at the next question. The base of an isosceles triangle is 4 by 3 centimeters. The perimeter of the triangle is 4, 2 by 15 centimeters. What is the length of either of the remaining equal sticks? So now what is given? There is an isosceles triangle. What is an isosceles triangle? A triangle where two sides are equal is called as an isosceles triangle. According to the question, the base of the isosceles triangle is 4 by 3 centimeters. The perimeter of the triangle is 4, 2 by 15 centimeters. What is the length of the either of the remaining equal sticks? So we want to find out the length of these equal sides of the triangle. So let us assume these equal sides are of length x centimeters. Okay. Now what is given? Perimeter of the triangle is 4, 2 by 15 centimeter. This is a mixed fraction. Let's convert this into improper fraction, which must be 15 times 4, 60. 60 plus 2 is 62. So this is 62 by 15 centimeters. But what is actually perimeter? Perimeter is nothing but sum of all the sides of the triangle. That means your x centimeters plus this x centimeters plus this 4 by 3 centimeters is equal to this 62 by 15 centimeters. Okay. Perimeter is sum of all sides. So x plus 4 by 3 is equal to 62 by 15. Let's simplify this first. X plus x is 2x plus 4 by 3 is equal to 62 by 15. Now what is this? This is a linear equation in one variable. Let's transpose this 4 by 3 to the right hand side. You get 2x is equal to 62 by 15 minus 4 by 3. What should this be? 62 minus 20 by 15 when I take the LCM. This must be 42 by 15. 42 by 15 is nothing but 14 by 5. So your 2x is equal to 14 by 5. So what does this imply? Your x must be 14 by 5 divided by 2. Alright. So this I can write it as 14 by 5 times 1 by 2. 2 sevens are 14. So this must be equal to 7 by 5. So the length of the equal sticks is 7 by 5 centimeters each. Alright. Let's look at the next question. Sum of two numbers is 95. If one exceeds the other by 15, find the numbers. What do you mean by this statement one exceeds the other by 15? Let's say I have a number line. I have two numbers on this. If one number is x, the other number must be x plus 15, isn't it? Exceeds the other by 15 means one number is 15 more than the other number. So this difference must be 15. Alright, the difference between these two is 15. Now, what is given? The sum of two numbers is 95. So I can assume the two numbers as x and x plus 15. If the sum of two numbers is 95, that means this x plus this x plus 15 must be equal to 95. Let's simplify this. X plus x is 2x. 2x plus 15 is equal to 95. What does this imply? 2x is equal to 95 minus 15. What is 95 minus 15? It is 80. 2x is equal to 80 implies your x must be 80 by 2, which is 40. If x is 40, then what should be x plus 15? The other number must be 40 plus 15, which is 55. So one number is 55 and the other number is 40. There is another way we can solve the same problem. Let's say I assume the two numbers as x and y. Let's assume the two numbers are x and y. What is given? Sum of the two numbers is 95. That means this x plus y is equal to 95. One exceeds the other by 15. What do I mean by this? The difference between these two numbers is 15. So I can write x minus y as 15. Let me assume that x is the bigger number here. The difference between the two must be 15. Alright, now what we have? We have two unknown quantities, we have two variables, and we have two equations. Can we solve them? Yes. Let's add these two equations. What happens when you add? X plus x is 2x, y minus y is anyway 0, so you can cancel this. 95 plus 15 is 110. 2x is equal to 110. This implies your x must be 110 divided by 2, which is 55. So, one bigger number is 55. Then what should be the smaller number? The smaller number you can find out by substituting it in either of these two equations. Let me choose the first equation. Your 55 plus y is equal to 95. This implies your y must be transposing 55 to the other side. 95 minus 55, which is 40. So, the other number must be 40. You can solve the problem in different ways. One thing you understand, that it is very important for you to read the question and try to implement the correct logic. Now here, since we are dealing with linear equations in one variable, we prefer to apply this method. That is, we try to express the given problem using only one variable. But you can also solve the same problem in a different way. Let's look at the next question. Two numbers are in the ratio 5:3. If they differ by 18, what are the numbers? Now, what do we mean by this statement? Two numbers are in the ratio 5:3. So, I have some two numbers. When we divide these two numbers, we must get 5/3. Okay, that is the meaning of this. When we divide these two numbers, we get 5/3, or the ratio of the two numbers is 5:3. Now I can assume the first number as 5x and the second number as 3x, so that when we divide these two, the common factor x will be cancelled, leaving us with 5 and 3. That is the reason when we have two numbers in the ratio 5:3, we can assume the two numbers as 5x and 3x. Okay. So, now we assume the two numbers as 5x and 3x. Now, what is given? That these numbers differ by 18. What do I mean by differ? When we subtract these two numbers, we get the value as 18. Now, which is bigger among these two? Obviously, 5x is bigger. So, when we subtract 5x minus 3x, we must get 18. What is 5x minus 3x? 2x. 2x is equal to 18, implies x must be 18 upon 2, which is 9. So, value of x is 9. Then what should be 5x and 3x? 5 into 9 and 3 into 9. 5 9s are 45 and 3 9s are 27. So, the required two numbers are 45 and 27. Let's look at the next question. Three consecutive integers add up to 51. What are these integers? What do we mean by consecutive integers? Integers which come one after the other. Now, when we are talking of integers, I can directly assume the integers as x, x plus 1 and x plus 2. These are the three consecutive integers. Now, what is given? The sum of these three consecutive integers is 51. That is x plus 1 plus this x plus 2 is equal to 51. Let's add now. X plus x is 3x, 1 plus 2 is 3, this is equal to 51. 3x is equal to 51 minus 3, which is equal to 48. What does this imply? X must be 48 divided by 3, which is 16. Now, if x value is 16, what is x plus 1? X plus 1 must be 16 plus 1, which is 17, and x plus 2 must be 18. So, the required three integers are 16, 17 and 18. Let's look at the next question. The sum of three consecutive multiples of 8 is 888. Find the multiples. Now, we have three consecutive multiples of 8. How can we choose three consecutive multiples of 8 in general? Let me say x is a multiple of 8. Then the next multiple must be x plus 8, and the next multiple must be this x plus 8 plus 8, isn't it? That is x plus 16. So, I can assume three consecutive multiples of 8 as x, x plus 8 and x plus 16. Now, the condition given in the question is sum of these three consecutive multiples is 888. So, let us take sum of these three, that is x plus 8 plus x plus 16 is equal to 888. Let us simplify this. X plus x is 3x, 8 plus 16 is 24 is equal to 888. Now, you see this is a linear equation in one variable. Let us now solve for x. To solve for x, let us transpose this 24 towards the right hand side. You get 3x is equal to 888 minus 24, which is 864. Now, you have 3x is equal to 864. What does this imply? X must be 864 divided by 3, which is 288. So, your x is 288, that is the first multiple of 8 is 288. Then the next multiple, that is x plus 8, which satisfies this condition, is 288 plus 8, which is 296, and the next multiple is this 288 plus 16, which is 304. So, these are the three required multiples of 8 which satisfies this condition. Let us look at the next question. Three consecutive integers are such that when they are taken in increasing order and multiplied by 2, 3 and 4 respectively, they add up to 74. Find those numbers. Now, again here we want to consider three consecutive integers. Let me choose a number line. Okay, this is a number line. I am choosing three consecutive integers which are taken in increasing order, that is in this order from left to right. Now, the first number is multiplied by 2, the second number is multiplied by 3 and the third number is multiplied by 4 respectively, isn't it? Now, the condition given is that these three, when they add up to 74. We need to find those numbers. So, let me first choose the first number as x. Then what should be the immediate consecutive integer? The immediate integer must be x plus 1 and the next immediate integer will be x plus 2. Now, let us multiply each of these with these numbers 2, 3 and 4 respectively. 2 times x will be 2x. Then we have 3 times x plus 1, that is 3 times x is 3x plus 3 times 1 is 3. And then you have 4 times x plus 2. 4 times x plus 2 is 4 times x, that is 4x plus 4 times 2 is 8. So, you have the numbers now as 2x, 3x plus 3 and 4x plus 8. According to this condition, they must add up to 74. That means your 2x plus this 3x plus 3 plus this 4x plus 8 must be equal to 74. Let us simplify this now. 2x plus 3x is 5x, 5x plus 4x is 9x. 8 plus 3 is 11, this is equal to 74. Now, what is this? This is a linear equation. Now, let us transpose 11 to the other side to solve this. 9x is equal to 74 minus 11, which must be 63. 9x is 63. What does this imply? Your x must be 63 divided by 9, which is 7. So, your first number is 7. Then what should be the immediate next number? 7 plus 1, that should be 8. And the immediate next number is 7 plus 2, which is 9. So, the required numbers are 7, 8 and 9. Well, let us solve the same problem in a different logic. I have the same number line. I will be choosing three consecutive integers, that is the integers which come one after the other. I am going to multiply the first one with 2, the second number with 3 and the third number with 4. Now, let me assume this middle number as x. Then what should be the previous number? It should be x minus 1. And what should be the next number? X plus 1, isn't it? So, now I am going to choose the three consecutive integers as x minus 1, x and x plus 1. So, you can choose the consecutive integers as x, x plus 1 and x plus 2. Or you can also choose the consecutive integers as x minus 1, x and x plus 1. What happens when we try to solve the same problem using this logic? Let us see. 2 times x minus 1, we are going to multiply this numbers, that is x minus 1, x and x plus 1 with 2, 3 and 4 respectively. So 2 into x minus 1 must be 2x minus 2 and 3 times x is 3x and you have 4 times x plus 1 as 4x plus 4. So we have 2x minus 2, 3x and 4x plus 4. They must all add up to 74 according to this condition. So 2x minus 2 plus 3x plus 4x plus 4 must be equal to 74. Let's simplify this. 2x plus 3x is 5x, 5x plus 4x is 9x. Minus 2 plus 4 is plus 2. This is equal to 74. 9x is equal to 74 minus 2. When you transpose 2 to the right hand side, this must be equal to 72. 9x is equal to 72. What does this imply? X must be 72 by 9, which is 8. That means this value, that is this x here, is 8. Then what should be x minus 1? It must be 7. And what should be x plus 1? It must be 8 plus 1, which is 9. You get the same numbers 7, 8 and 9. You see? You can solve one problem in different ways. Here I have shown you two methods where we have chosen, in the first method, we have chosen the three consecutive integers as x, x plus 1 and x plus 2. In the second case, I have chosen the integers as x minus 1, x and x plus 1. I will give you a task. You now choose, we have three integers, we are going to multiply them with 2, 3 and 4. Choose the third number as x, then what should be the previous number? It should be x minus 1 and its previous number must be x minus 2. So now if you choose the three consecutive integers as x minus 2, x minus 1 and x, multiply them with 2, 3 and 4 respectively and take the sum of it and equate it to 74, you will again get the values of this x minus 2, x minus 1 and x as 7, 8 and 9. You can check it for yourself. Let's look at the next question. The ages of Rahul and Harun are in the ratio 5:7. 4 years later, some of these ages will be 56 years. What are their present ages? Now again, we have two numbers. Rahul's age and Harun's age are just numbers. Now these two numbers are again in the ratio 5:7. So I can assume Rahul's present age as 5x and Harun's present age as 7x. Now what will be their ages 4 years later? 4 years later, Rahul's age will become 5x plus 4 years and Harun's age will become 7x plus 4 years, isn't it? What is given 4 years later, sum of their ages will be 56 years, that is sum of these two must be 56, that is 5x plus 4 plus this 7x plus 4 must be equal to 56. Let's simplify this now. 5x plus 7x is 12x, 12x plus 8 is equal to 56. That implies, now 12x plus 8 is equal to 56. So to solve for x, we are going to transpose this 8 to the right hand side. You get 12x is equal to 56 minus 8, which is 48. That implies 12x is equal to 48. What does this imply? X must be 48 upon 12, which is 4. Now here x is 4, then what should be 5x? 5x must be 5 times 4, which is 20, and 7x must be 7 times 4, which is 28. So these are the ages, present ages of Rahul and Harun respectively. Let's look at the next question. The number of boys and girls in a class are in the ratio 7:5. Now again, this problem also involves a ratio. So I can assume the number of boys in the class as 7x, because this ratio is boys is to girls, isn't it? So I can assume the number of boys as 7x and the number of girls as 5x. Now what is given? The number of boys is 8 more than the number of girls. That means number of boys 7x is 5x plus 8. 8 more than the number of girls. Let's simplify this. 7x is equal to 5x plus 8. Now to simplify this, we are going to transpose variable terms to one side and the constant terms to the other side. So 7x, if I transpose 5x to LHS, you get 7x minus 5x is equal to 8. That means 2x is equal to 8. What does this imply? X must be 8 by 2, which is 4. Now when x is 4, number of boys is 7 into 4, which is 28, and number of girls must be 5 into 4, which is 20. Now what is asked? What is the total strength of the class? The total strength of the class must be the number of boys plus number of girls, which is 48. Let's look at the next question. Baichung's father is 26 years younger than Baichung's grandfather and 29 years older than Baichung. Sum of the ages of all the three is 135 years. What is the age of each one of them? Now, Baichung's father is 26 years younger than Baichung's grandfather. This is the first condition. And Baichung's father is 29 years older than Baichung. This is the second condition. Now, both the conditions are related to Baichung's father's age. So, if I assume Baichung's father's age as x years, now according to the first condition, Baichung's father's age is 26 years younger than Baichung's grandfather. So, that means Baichung's grandfather age minus 26. Baichung's father age, we have assumed it as x years. So, this x must be equal to Baichung's grandfather's age minus 26. Let's transpose this 26 to LHS. You get x plus 26 is equal to Baichung's grandfather's age. Now, the second condition is this Baichung's father age is 29 years older than Baichung. Older, isn't it? That means this is Baichung's age plus 29. Now, we have assumed Baichung's father's age as x years. So, this x must be this Baichung's age plus 29. Let's transpose 29 to the other side. You get x minus 29 as Baichung's age. So, now we have Baichung's father's age as x years, Baichung's grandfather's age as x plus 26 years, and Baichung's age as x minus 29 years. Now, what is the next condition given in the question? Sum of the ages of all the three is 135 years. So, that means Baichung's age x minus 29 plus Baichung's father's age, that is x years, plus Baichung's grandfather's age, that is x plus 26. The sum of all the three is equal to 135. Now, let's simplify this. X plus x is 3x, minus 29 plus 26 is minus 3. This is equal to 135. This is again a linear equation in one variable. Let's transpose 3 to the other side. 3x must be equal to 135 plus 3, which is 138. So, x must be equal to 138 upon 3, which is 46. Now, when your x is 46, then what should be the Baichung's grandfather's age, that is x plus 26. X plus 26 must be 46 plus 26, which is 72, and Baichung's age must be x minus 29, 46 minus 29, which is 17. So, the ages of Baichung's father is 46 years, Baichung's grandfather is 72 years, and Baichung's age is 17 years. Let's look at the next question. 15 years from now, Ravi's age will be 4 times his present age. What is Ravi's present age? Let us assume Ravi's present age as x years. Okay, Ravi's present age is x years. 15 years later, what will be Ravi's age? It must be x plus 15 years. Now, what is the condition? 15 years from now, Ravi's age will be 4 times his present age. That means this x plus 15 must be 4 times the present age, which is x. Let's simplify. You have x plus 15 is equal to 4x. So 15 is equal to 4x minus x, which is 3x. Now 3x is equal to 15. What does this imply? X must be 15 upon 3, which is 5. So Ravi's present age is x years, that is 5 years. Let's look at the next question. A rational number is such that when you multiply it by 5 by 2 and add 2 by 3 to the product, you get negative 7 by 12. What is the number? What is a rational number? A number which is in the form of p by q. Let me assume one such rational number as x. Now what is the condition? You multiply this number by 5 by 2. So let us multiply x times 5 by 2. I can write it as 5x by 2. This product, you take this product and add 2 by 3 to it. That means you take 5x by 2 and add 2 by 3 to it. The result must be equal to negative 7 by 12. So it's minus 7 by 12. So we just have to simplify this now. Now you have 5x by 2 plus 2 by 3. Let's take LCM. This will be 6 and this will be 15x plus 4 is equal to negative 7 by 12. Let me cross multiply these terms. Let me just take 6 to the other side. You get 15x plus 4 is equal to minus 7 by 12 times 6. 6 ones are, 6 twos are. Okay, so let's now take 2 to the other side. You have 2 times 15x plus 4 is equal to minus 7. If I just bring this 2 to this side. Now you have 30x, expand the brackets, 15 into 2 is 30 plus 4 into 2 is 8, this is equal to minus 7. That means your 30x is equal to minus 7, transpose 8 to RHS, minus 8. That means your 30x is equal to minus 15. What does this imply? X must be minus 15 by 30, 15 ones are, 15 twos are. So your x must be minus 1 by 2. So the required rational number is minus half. Let's look at the next question. Lakshmi is a cashier in a bank. She has currency notes of denominations 100 rupees, 50 rupees and 10 rupees respectively. The ratio of the number of these notes is 2:3:5. The total cash with Lakshmi is 4 lakh rupees. How many notes of each denomination does she have? So Lakshmi has currency notes of some denominations like 100 rupees, 50 rupees and 10 rupees. What is given? The ratio of number of notes. Okay, number of notes are in the ratio 2:3:5. That means the number of notes, I can assume there are 2x 100 rupee notes, 3x 50 rupee notes and 5x 10 rupee notes. This makes sense. Now what should be the value of money which we have? The value of money, if there are 2x 100 rupee notes, that means Lakshmi has 2x into 100 rupees with her. That means she must be having 200x rupees. The value of this 2x 100 rupees notes is 200x rupees. Similarly, if she has 3x 50 rupee notes with her, that means she will be having 3x into 50 rupees with her. That is 150x rupees with her. Similarly, if she has 5x 10 rupee notes with her, that means she must be having 5x into 10 rupees, which is 50x rupees with her. Now what is the next condition? The total cash with Lakshmi is 4 lakhs rupees. That means the sum of all these must be equal to 4 lakhs. So 200x plus this 150x plus this 50x must be equal to 4 lakhs. Let's simplify. 200 plus 150, 350, 350 plus 50 is 400, 400x is equal to 4 lakhs. That means your x must be equal to 4 lakhs divided by 400. Cancel off these two zeros. 4 thousands is 4,000. So the value of x is 1000. Now when x value is 1000, 2x must be 2000. That means the number of 100 rupee notes with her is 2000. The value of 3x, the number 3x must be 3 into 1000, which is 3000. So she has 3050 rupee notes with her, and 5x must be 5 into 1000, which is 5000. So Lakshmi has 5010 rupee notes with her. So these are the number of notes of these denominations. She has 2100 rupee notes, 3050 rupee notes, and 5010 rupee notes. Let's look at the next question. I have a total of 300 in coins of denomination 1 rupee, 2 rupees and 5 rupees. The number of 2 rupee coins is 3 times the number of 5 rupee coins. The total number of coins is 160. How many coins of each denomination are with me? So there are 300 rupees with me. Okay. Now these are in 3 denominations. We have some 1 rupee coins, we have some 2 rupee coins, and we have some 5 rupee coins. The condition is number of 2 rupee coins is 3 times the number of 5 rupee coins. So number of 2 rupee coins is equal to 3 times the number of 5 rupee coins. Alright. So if I assume the number of 5 rupee coins as x, then number of 2 rupee coins must be 3 times x, which is 3x. Okay. Now what is given? The total number of coins is 160. So I have some 1 rupee coins, I have some 2 rupee coins, and I have some 5 rupee coins. Totally I have 160 coins. So some number of 1 rupee coins, if I assume it as y, let us say, that means this y plus this 3x plus this x must be equal to 160. 3x plus x is 4x, so y plus 4x is equal to 160. That means your y is 160 minus 4x. So I have 160 minus 4x 1 rupee coins. Now we are talking about number of coins. So we have 160 minus 4x 1 rupee coins, we have 3x 2 rupee coins, and we have x 5 rupee coins. Now let us talk about the value. If I have x 5 rupee coins, that means I have x into 5, that is 5x rupees. If I have 3x 2 rupee coins, that means I have 3x into 2, that is 6x rupees. And if I have 160 minus 4x 1 rupee coins, that means I must be having 160 minus 4x into 1, that is 160 minus 4x rupees. These are now the value of these number of coins that we have. So we have 160 minus 4x rupees of 1 rupee coins, we have 6x rupees together for number of 2 rupee coins, and we have 5x rupees of 5 rupee coins. So now what is given? The total amount of money that I have with me is 300. So sum of these must be equal to 300. That means your 160 minus 4x plus 6x plus this 5x must be equal to 300. Let's simplify now. 160 minus 4x plus 6x is plus 2x plus 5x is plus 7x. So 160 plus 7x is equal to 300. Let's transpose 160 to the other side. You get 7x is equal to 300 minus 160, which must be 140. 7x is equal to 140. So x must be 140 upon 7, which is 20. So when x is 20, then 3x must be 3 into 20, which is 60. And 160 minus 4x, 4x is, okay, 160 minus 4x must be 160 minus 4 into 20, that is 160 minus 4 into 20 is 80, 160 minus 80 is 80. So we have 80 1 rupee coins, 60 2 rupee coins, and 20 5 rupee coins with us. Let's look at the next question. The organizers of an essay competition decide that a winner in the competition gets a prize of 100 rupees and a participant who does not win gets a prize of 25 rupees. The total prize money distributed is 3000 rupees. Find the number of winners if the total number of participants is 63. So there was a essay competition and there were 63 participants. Out of these 63 participants, some participants are declared as winners while some are not winners. If there are x winners totally, then how many participants are not winners? 63 minus x, obviously. Now what is given? The winners are given a prize of 100 rupees each. Okay, a winner gets 100 rupees prize money. So if there are X winners, the organizers distributed X into 100 rupees, that is 100X rupees for winners. And for all the other participants who do not win, get a prize of 25 rupees. Okay, they get a prize money of 25 rupees. So if there are 63 minus X participants who are not winners, the organizers have distributed 25 into 63 minus X rupees for all the other participants who are not winners. So how much money did they distribute for participants who are not winners? This must be rupees 25 into 63 is 1575 minus 25x rupees. Now what is also given, the total prize money distributed is 3000 rupees. That means sum of this two must be equal to 3000. That means your 100x plus this 1575 minus 25x must be equal to 3000. Let's simplify this now. 100 minus 25 is 75x plus 1575 is equal to 3000. Let's transpose 1575 to the right hand side. You get 75x is equal to 3000 minus 1575, which is 1425. 75x is equal to 1425. That means your x must be 1425 upon 75, which is 19. So the total number of winners is x, that is there are 19. So x must be 19. So there are 19 winners in this competition.